Hello, my dear kids. Welcome to Kiddos Learn.
A. A for apple.
A is for apple, 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 A apple. A is for ant, ant, ant. A is for alligator, 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 alligator. A is for apricot, 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 apricot. A is for airplane, 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 airplane. A is for acorn, 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 acorn. A is for angel, 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 angel. A is for astronaut, 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 astronaut. A is for axe, 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 axe. A is for animal, 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 animal. A is for arrow, 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 arrow. A is for anchor, 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 anchor. A is for artist, 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 artist. A is for armor, 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 alarmer. A is for aquarium, 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 aquarium. A is for alpaca, 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 alpaca. A is for axe, 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 axe. A is for ash, 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 ash. A is for avenue, 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 avenue. A is for apron, 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 apron. A is for arch, 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 arch. A is for asparagus, 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 asparagus. A is for apple, 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 apple. A is for ant, 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 ant. A is for alligator, 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 alligator. A is for apricot, 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 apricot. A is for airplane, 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 airplane. A is for acorn, 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 acorn. A is for angel, 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 angel. A is for astronaut, 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 astronaut. A is for axe, 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 axe. A is for animal, 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 animal. A is for arrow, 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 arrow. A is for anchor, 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 anchor. A is for artist, 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 artist. A is for armor, 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 armor. A is for aquarium, 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 aquarium. A is for alpaca, alpaca, for banana, 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 banana. B is for bear, 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 bear. B is for boat, boat, boat. B is for bird, bird, bird. B is for book, book. B is for bag, bag, bag. B is for baby, baby, baby. B is for bell, bell, bell. B is for bus, bus, bus. B is for bed, bed, bed. B is for box, box, box. B is for bottle, bottle, bottle. B is for brush, brush, brush. B is for balloon, balloon, balloon. B is for button, button, block. B is for basket, basket, basket. B is for balloon, balloon, balloon. B is for boat, boat. B is for bridge, bridge, big bridge. B is for branch, branch, branch. B is for bat, bat. B is for brother, brother. B is for ball, ball. Balls for banana, 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 banana. B is for bear, 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 bear. B is for boat, boat. B is for bird, bird. B is for book, book. B is for bag, bag, bang. B is for baby, baby. B is for bee, bee. B is for bell, bell. B is for bus, bus. B is for bed, bed. B is for box, box. B is for bottle, bottle. B is for brush, brush. B is for black, black. B is for button, button. B is for basket, basket. B is for balloon, balloon. B is for bike, B is for branch, branch. B is for bad, bad, better. B is for bub, B is for banana, 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 B banana. B is for bear, 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 bear. B is for boat, 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 boat. B is for bird, 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 bird. B is for baby, 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 baby. B is for beep, 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 beep. B is for bell, 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 bell. B is for bus, 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 big bus. B is for bed, 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 bed. B is for box, 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 box. B is for bottle, 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 bottle. B is for brush, 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 brush. B is for black, 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 black. B is for button, 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 button. B is for basket, 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 basket. B is for balloon, 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 bike. B is for branch, 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 branch. B is for brother, 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 brother. B is for branch, 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 branch. B is for bat, 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 bat. B is for brother, 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 brother.
C. C for cat.
C is for cat, 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 C cat. C is for car, 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 car. C is for cup, 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 say cup. C is for cake, 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 say cake. C is for cap, 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 say cap. C is for cow, 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 say cow. C is for corn, 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 say corn. C is for camel, 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 say camel. C is for cattle, 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 say cattle. C is for camel, 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 say camel. C is for candy, 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 say candy. C is for canoe, 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 say canoe. C is for cactus, 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 say cactus. C is for card, 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 say card. C is for card, 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 say card. C is for castle, 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 say castle. C is for cupcake, 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 say cupcake. C is for circle, 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 circle. C is for cloud, 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 say cloud. C is for clock, 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 say clock. C is for coin, 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 coin. C is for cone, 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 say cone. C is for cupboard, 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 say cupboard. Cave, say cave, 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 say cave. C is for coconut, 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 C, coconut. C is for cabbage, 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 C, cabbage. C is for candlelight, 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 candlelight. C is for cage, 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 C, cage. C is for compass, 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 compass. C is for ghost, 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 ghost. C is for cabin, 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 C, cabin. C is for cupboard, 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 C, cupboard. C is for cottage, 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 cottage. C is for collarbone, 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 collarbone. C is for cotton, 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 cucumber.
C is for cat, 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 C, cat. C is for car, 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 car. C is for cup, 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 cup. C is for cake, cake, cake's a cake. C is for cap, cap, cap's a cap. C is for cow, cow, cow's a cow. C is for corn, corn, corn's a corn. C is for camel, camel, camel's a camel. C is for candle, candle, candle's a candle. C is for candy, candy, candy's a candy. C is for candy, candy, candy's a candy. C is for candy, candy, candy's a candy. C is for cactus, 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 cactus. C is for card, card, card's a card. C is for cart, 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 cart. C is for castle, castle, castle's a castle. C is for cupcake, cupcake, cupcake's a cupcake. C is for circle, 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 circle. C is for cloud, cloud, cloud's a cloud. C is for clock, clock, clock's a clock. C is for coin, coin, coin's a coin. C is for cone, cone, cone's a cone. C is for cupboard, 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 cupboard's a cupboard. C is for carpet, carpet, carpet's a carpet. C is for cave, cave, cave's a cave. C is for cone, 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 cone. C is for couch, 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 couch. C is for cousin, 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 cousin. C is for collar, collar, collar's collar. C is for cookie, 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 cookie. C is for coconut, 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 coconut. E is for cabbage, 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 cabbage. C is for candlelight, 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 candlelight. C is for cage, 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 cage. C is for compass, 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 compass. C is for coast, 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 coast. C is for cold, 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 cold. C is for cabin, cabin, cabin's a cabin. C is for cupboard, 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 cupboard. C is for cottage, 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 cottage. C is for collarbone, 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 collarbone. computer.
D. D for dog.
D is for dog, 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 dog. D is for duck, 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 dog, dog. D is for drum, 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 drum. D is for door, 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 door. D is for dish, 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 dish. D is for dice, 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 dice. D is for dress, 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 dress. D is for drumstick, 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 drumstick. D is for dolphin, 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 dolphin. D is for deer, 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 deer. D is for day, 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 day. D is for done, 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 done. D is for dish, 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 dish. D is for daisy, 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 daisy. D is for drink, 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 drink. D is for drum beat, drum beat, drum beat, drum beat. D is for duck, duck, dunk, donk, donk. D is for dustpan, 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 dustpan. D is for drawer, 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 drawer. D is for ducky, donkey, donkey, donkey. D is for dessert, 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 dessert. D is for dinner, 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 dinner. D is for doctor, 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 doctor. D is for driver, 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 driver. D is for dream, 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 dream. D is for dress up, dress up, dress up, dress up. D is for dinosaur, 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 dinosaur. D is for donut, 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 donut. D is for duckling, 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 duckling. D is for driver, 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 dragon. D is for dishcloth, 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 dishcloth. D is for dancer, 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 dancer. D is for diamond, 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 diamond. D is for dinner plate, dinner plate, dinner plate, dinner plate. D is for dollhouse, 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 dollhouse. D is for drawing, 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 drawing. D is for dustbin, 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 dustbin. D is for dime, dime. D is for dime, dime, dime.
Hello friends, come sing with me. Let's learn words with letter D. D says dee dee, hooray. Let's find D words and shout yay. D is for dog, woof woof bounce. D is for duck, quack quack quack. D is for drum, boom, boom, boom. Let's drum and dance and tap, tap, tap. Letter D, what do you see? I see D dinosaur. Big stride. D is for donkey. Hee-haw! Sound many D words all around. Letter D, what do you see? I see D words dancing with me. Door and donkey, dinosaur too. Letter D is fun for you. D is for doll, pretty and neat. D is for donut, oh so sweet. D is for daisy, white and bright. D is for day, full of light. Letter D, sing with me. So many D words, 1, 2, 3. Doll and donut, daisy too. Letter D, we love you. Clap your hands, hooray, hooray. We learned D words all today. Dog, duck, drum and door. We'll sing D words forevermore. D is for dog, dog. D is for duck, duck. D is for drum, drum. D is for door, door. D is for dance, dance. D is for dinosaur, dinosaur. D is for dolphin, dolphin. D is for doll, doll. D is for daisy, daisy. D is for dish, dish. D is for desk, desk. D is for dress, dress. D is for donkey, donkey. D is for dragon, dragon. D is for doctor, doctor. D is for duckling, duckling. D is for day, day. D is for desert, desert. D is for diamond, diamond. D is for dust, dust. D is for dig, dig. D is for die, die. D is for dry, dry. D is for doodle, doodle. D is for domino, domino. D is for dream, dream. D is for doorbell, doorbell. D is for drum roll, drum roll. D is for drill light, drill light. D is for dolphin, dolphin. D is for deer, deer. D is for dollhouse, dollhouse. D is for driver, driver. D is for drawing, drawing. D is for dress up, dress up. D is for dominoes, dominoes. D is for dumpling, dumpling. D is for drumstick, drumstick. D is for dreamer, dreamer.
E is for elephant, E. Elephant, E. Elephant, E. friends, come sing with me. Let's learn words with letter E. E says E-A-E. Hooray, let's find E words and shout, yay! E is for elephant, big and brave. E is for F, white and gray. E is for eagle, flying high. E is for ear that helps us try. Letter E, what do you see? I see E words smiling at me. Elephant, egg, and eagle too. Letter E is fun for you. E is for earth, round and bright. E is for engine, zooms with might. E is for elbow, bend your arm. E is for 8, that's part of the charm. Letter E, what do you see? I see E words dancing with me. Earth and egg and elbow too. Learning E is fun to do. E is for eraser, clean and neat. E is for envelope, message treat. E is for eggplant, purple and round. E is for elf who jumps around. Letter E, sing with me. So many E words. 1, 2, 3. Elephant, elf, aired eraser too. Letter E, we love you. Clap your hands, hooray, hooray. Then learn E words all today. Elephant and egg, earth galore. We'll sing E words forevermore.
E is for elephant, elephant, elephant. E is for egg, 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 egg. E is for eagle, 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 eagle. E is for earth, earth, earth bedden. E is for engine, 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 elm. E is for envelope, 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 envelope. E is for elbow, elbow, elbow. E is for 8, 8, 8. E is for eyes, 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 eyes. E